any time that I could have the freedom to roam a little bit and thank you and see, see what's going on everywhere. Obviously, it's going to help us from a schematic standpoint and help me get a good feel for what's going on and how it's all going. So, but we got 5 good coaches on defense, and so everybody's going to play a part in it and how we do it and break it down and all those things.
If we talk about the newest coach on defense and Coach Bradley and how his addition has impacted you guys, what he brings to the table. I know you talked about it in the release there, but for you personally, what's it mean to have a guy like that on your staff?
Yeah, anytime you have a guy that has as much experience as Tom does, at a high level for that many years, I've been a coordinator for the last 13 or 14. He's put some really good defenses on the field. So, and then you got Brian Mitchell that's been a coordinator. You got Joe that's been a coordinator. So, those guys all, they all play a big role in what we're doing and how we're going to do it. It's good to bounce ideas off of guys that have been there and done that before. So, they're all going to play a significant role in that part of it.
What made him the right fit to come in and be the defensive line guy and kind of reconfigure how you at least had initially thought it was going to be as of that spring lunch?
Yeah, well, what Coach had talked about is we wanted to get the best available coach we could. And, obviously Tom is right at the top of the list anywhere in the country as a position coach and as a coordinator and those kind of things. So for us to be able to get a guy with that experience to coach a position, and to be able to help and do all the things that we need at this point, it's a huge hire for us. And just a great addition to the Mountaineer family.
For you personally, knowing Coach Bradley for a while and battling in the trenches for recruits in Western PA for a long time, how's it feel to be working on the same sideline and the same staff with him this season?
Yeah, it's good. We had some really good battles. It was hard to beat Penn State on PA kids. So, but Tom and I have known each other for a while, and we used to bounce ideas off each other. They visited here as a defensive staff in 2005. So we've always had we had that connection and that friendship and being able to talk to him. When I was in the Big Ten at Michigan, he was at Penn State, we would talk some. And, so we've always stayed in touch, and he's just always been a really good guy, to bounce ideas off of.
Talk about that friendship there. Did it predate 2005? I mean, were you guys already pretty familiar with each other at that point, or did that really kind of kick things off?
Probably when they visited. Well, we had seen each other a bunch on the road recruiting, and so we got a friendship there. But when they came down and spent a day with us, and we actually got in the meeting room and talked football, I think that connected us even more at that time.
How much did that relationship, that personal relationship, have to do with you helping bring him on staff here? I mean, I'm sure obviously Dana played a part in it, but did you do a little bit of recruiting yourself there?
Yeah, when it first came available, he was the first guy that we had brought, that I brought up to coach, and it kind of went from there with it. The process was, it went on for a while, for a couple weeks, and until we got everything worked out. But he was definitely at the top of the list, the guy that I wanted.
You mentioned obviously best available at the time, like Coach Holgerson said, but what kind of resource do you feel like Coach Bradley is going to be for you in trying to really hit the ground running and get going with this coordinator role?
Yeah, what he's, where we're at right now is just trying to get him up to speed on our defense. When you're at one place for 30-some years and run the same defense and it's all your terminology, he had to come in, we had 4 or 5 days to get it all together before the first spring practice. So right now he's just still learning all our terminology and how we're going to call it and do those, our blitzes, our fronts, what we're calling things. So, obviously once we get through the spring and the 15 practice, he gets more familiar with the defense. Obviously he's going to be a much bigger help to me at that point.